Hi there, and welcome to Pot and Kettle Studios for some vinyl installation instructions. This video is a deeper look at the hard copy of the instructions that you should have received with your original decal. Should have been in a box like this, possibly a larger tube, possibly rectangular. Either way, on the inside we're going to find a wall decal or decals, a set of instructions, and a test decal. First things first, let's take a look at this wall decal so we know what we have. The wall decal is comprised of 3 layers. Top layer is the transfer tape. This is the translucent portion, and its job is to hold the vinyl together as you're placing it on the wall. Beneath that and attached to it, you've got the vinyl decal itself. It's the black text in this example. And at the base is a white release liner that's got a grid printed on the back of it. This grid comes in handy should you need to do any cutting of your decal prior to installation. That's what's in the box. Let's look at some tools you might want to have. As you look at this, you can see that there's some redundancies, so use what you've got and what you prefer. I would always take a utility knife over scissors, for instance. And if you don't have a wallpaper squeegee, you can substitute a driver's license and even a credit card, but just take care with those items. That's about it for the materials. Let's dive into the installation. Back at Pot and Kettle Studios for the peel and stick installation instructions. This is our method for smaller graphics, and by that we mean anything that's about 2 feet or less in both directions, or whatever you can comfortably hold by yourself with both hands. If you got something larger like a headboard, you're going to want to go back and look for the hinge method of installation. The first thing you'll want to do after removing your graphic from the box is unroll it. It's got a serious curl with some tension in it, and you got to relax that before you can attempt an installation. So face up, use books if you want. It's going to want to rest for at least a few hours, possibly overnight, depending on the graphic. And if you're noticing wrinkles and folds on your surface, these are normal. They will not affect the installation. While that rests, let's talk about wall prep. You want a dust and grease-free wall. That's really all it takes. But if you have painted recently, we recommend waiting 7 or more days, depending on the type of paint that you have used. And on to the layout. Let's grab a tape measure and a pencil and just head over to the wall, make some points, make some lines. I like a left point, a right point, and a center point along the top edge. Some people here just use a pencil and make a line. That's perfectly fine. I'm a fan of blue tape. I think it's just a habit. So I will run a tape line across those 3 points. This is what we use to level the graphic as we place it on the wall. To that end, we should just check it one more time using an actual level to make sure our line is good. And at the same time, let's mark the center. This is just for convenience. It'll make the final installation much simpler. Simpler because, as you see here, it might be difficult, but up there in the W, there's a tiny, tiny hash mark indicating my center of my graphic. That will make it a lot faster when you're sitting there holding a piece of flypaper near the wall. So we're about ready. First thing we're going to do is a quick burnish with the graphic upside down. You're looking at the grid side now, and this is what's going to help ensure that all the vinyl is sticking to the transfer tape as opposed to the release liner itself. So we're about ready. Make sure you've got a clear path to your wall at this point. Starting in the corner, you just want to grab some of the release liner and then holding the graphic down, peel the release liner back and away from the graphic, slowly but surely. Keep an eye on any spot that has, some of the frilly letters like on an R there, especially the smaller they get. Just make sure that your vinyl is sticking to the transfer tape. It can sometimes get stuck too much to the release liner and you just need to back it up slowly. Just redo it and make sure it's all sticking on your transfer tape. So slow and steady, release liner away from graphic. Not graphic away from release liner away from graphic. And that's it, we're ready to go to the wall. We've got our leveled line, it's clearly indicated at center. We've got our graphic clearly indicated at center. Line up our center points, tack down the corners just lightly, and then run your hand gently across the graphic, center out. This is just to hold it in place while you actually reach for your burnisher. That will be the final burnishing, much more pressure. Again, always center out when dealing with sticking the graphic down on the wall. If you hit a corner first, the best analogy I can think of is that it's like painting yourself into a corner in a room. If you're painting a floor, you will generally cause the graphic not to be able to be placed properly. So always center out. Once it's on there nicely, it's just like taking the release liner from the graphic in the last step. You just find a corner and peel the transfer tape slowly away from the wall and the graphic. Always note little serif spots that seem to be facing the wrong direction for the direction that you're pulling, such as that E there, the lowercase e. These are candidates that are most likely to want to stick to the transfer tape as opposed to the wall. This also depends on how bumpy and rough your actual wall surface is. But, just slowly but surely, if you're having trouble and something is coming away from the wall, you just roll it back until you see the graphic hit the wall again. Simply reburnish it and then continue along, back and away. Remove your tape, and you have successfully installed your first piece of vinyl graphics. I hope this was helpful. We will see you next time at the Pot and Kettle Studios. Thanks.